It's Brendan, your technology concierge. Today I'm joined by Max Starkov, all the way from the US, and we're talking about a number of things, all things technology, basically. Good morning, Max. How are you?
Hey, good morning from New York City. How are you, Brendan?
Max, we touched on robots. As you said, I'm actually surprised that they can handle 150 of the 175 tasks that housekeeping do. I've spoken to a few hoteliers about robots, and in particular, five-star hotels are currently of the opinion that robots are not for them and probably never will be. Mm-hmm. They were the same people that told me 10 years ago that mobile check-in and mobile key would never become part of their operation as well.
Yeah, I know.
What are your thoughts? I mean, where do you see a place for robots? Is it limited service? And in five-star properties, they will be there, but they'll be behind the scenes, helping front-facing staff deliver better service?
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. First of all, if you follow the steps of this Japanese hotel, Hanana, if you remember, 350 yes. robots, basically the fully robotic operation of the hotel, yep. I think that you'll be making a major mistake.
Yes.
That's not where we are today.
Yep.
First of all, the robots themselves, and Hanana discovered this, are not good enough.
Yes.
It's simple as that. So the way that I see it is robots should be introduced very carefully, after careful considerations, and in places where they already excel. And I'll give you one example. You have the Tipsy robot, which is a bartender. It's a yep. bartending robot, yep. which replaces 4 bartenders.
Wow. Okay.
And it's a major attraction. In Las Vegas, they have it. It's coming to New York City and so forth. So in this sense, in London, they have it. So what they mean is that this is a place where you can introduce a robot today.
Yep.
As far as other places are, if you operate a resort with big outside gardens and yep. like a big estate, if you will,
yep.
Beach resort or golf resort, then introducing let's say robot security guards,
yes,
robotic security guards, which are already in existence in many of the casinos in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Many of the airports in the United States, you can see them, going back and forth. It's Nightscope is the name of the company that specializes there. This definitely can be done today. I mean, a security guard, $30 an hour. That's the salary. A yep. robot is $7 an hour.
Yep.
No perks, no health insurance, no nothing. $7 an hour, 24/7. That's what the robots do. So what they mean is that, so this is some of the things that you can introduce today.
Yep.
Now for the for example, food and beverage, already you have Piestro, for example, which is a complete robot pizza making robot, which produces gourmet type of pizzas mm-hmm. at, I mean, a very low price and very low cost, I would say, and it replaces a full pizza restaurant. So if you have, for example, a hotel with some kind of a food and beverage, replacing the whole restaurant, if you will, with this Piestro robotic pizza making machine, it makes sense. So these are the things that can be introduced immediately today.
Yeah.
Housekeeping, you can introduce, for example, Rosie.
Yes.
The cleaning robot by Maidbot.
Maidbot, yep.
I mean, 2,000 hotels already use Rosie. It's, it cannot prepare a room like a human housekeeper, but it can help a human housekeeper with some of the very mundane and very unpleasant, if you will, jobs. So what I mean is that, so the way that I see it is more like not 100% robotic operation, but cobots. These are collaborative robots that work together with humans in the same team, where the humans do certain things,
Yes.
and the robots do other things, and hopefully the robots do the dirtier jobs,
Yep.
you know, the more dangerous jobs, the more unpleasant jobs, and the humans do more of a managerial job, and again the things that the robots still cannot do. So that's how I see it progressing. So cobots are definitely a way, you know, like humans plus robots teams. It already has been most of Amazon warehouses. They operate in a cobot type of arrangement. Humans plus robots. I would say in many manufacturing places, that's how it's been done. So that's not a new thing for the industry in general, but in hospitality, this will be a new thing. So as far as the luxury hotels, I fully understand, because I mean the personal touch, the personal attention to the guest is paramount. I mean, I'm a big fan of Mandarin Oriental, for example. So in this sense, I understand where they're coming from. The way that I see it at luxury hotels is that they will maintain a human facade for the time being. But behind the curtains, for example, salad making robots, line cooks that prepare the food so that the celebrity chef can focus on his magic. But the robots preparing the, you know, cutting the onions and the carrots and the stuff, that's not a job for humans. Robots can do this easily. So I mean, in the United States, there's a like a chain which is like a more than $1 billion valuation chain, Sweet Greens, which is like a salad place, you know, with a lot of locations around the United States. So they have acquired a company that makes complete 100% robotic restaurants. Everything from A to Z is made by robots, and of course focusing on salads in this particular case. So they claim we will not fire even a single person, because they have 4 or 5 people staff, but we will allow our staff to be creative, our staff to work with the clients, and basically to improve customer service and so forth, and let the machine do their thing, which they do perfectly well. So you don't need people to cut potatoes and cucumbers, because a machine can do this perfectly, much better than a human, more precise and so forth. So what I mean is that, so the direction that I see at this point is you take what's already proven in the marketplace, that already works as a standalone unit, and you start from there, you implement there, and you keep your human operations in all other aspects. And then over time, you introduce robots or AI applications, for example, or it's not only robots. When we're talking about robots, I mean next generation technology. Because robots are machines that can do certain physical stuff, but AI can do much better things. For example, and I'll give you an example. If you go to a hotel today and you need an extra pillow, what do you do? You call the front desk and say, "Hey, can you send me a extra pillow, please?" And then they will be, first of all, somebody has to pick up the phone.
That's true.
Take this order and say, "Okay, room 405 needs an extra pillow." And then if they remember, they will call housekeeping and say, "Hey, go to room 05 and bring an extra pillow."
Yep.
and take them an extra pillow because, anyway. So that's the current process.
Yep.
If you have a issue resolution guest communication in place, which is like a messaging service, and there's so many players in this field.
True. Yes.
The guest using his own or his or her own smartphone will send a message to the hotel. Hey guys, I need a extra pillow.
Yep.
And then, of course, it's natural language processing technology, which is AI, will decipher your message within milliseconds and say, oh, this is a housekeeping thing.
Yep.
If your bathroom is clogged or the light is out, then it will decipher this and it will send it to engineering and so forth.
Yep.
But it's all automatic. And then, of course, housekeeping sends a robot, for example, to bring it to your room, the extra pillow, or somebody personally brings it. It doesn't matter. What matters is that at the end of the month, the general manager can see, say, what's wrong with our hotel? I have 150 rooms and 150 requests for extra pillows.
Yes.
So I better buy 150 pillows and just put them in every room.
Yep.
So you have the analytics, you have a business decision that's already made for you by the analytics. So that's where AI, for example, helps tremendously in exactly such issue resolution technology applications, which are readily available in hospitality. They cost $1 per room per month, $2 per room per month, depending on how complex and this and that. And guess how many independent hotels have those? 10%.
Really? Okay.
10%. That's it.
That is crazy, because as software as a service, there is literally,
no implementation.
No implementation.
Nothing.
And the as you said, inefficiencies and guest service, the solution pays for itself.
Of course. So my whole point is that, so when talking about robots, yes, robots are needed. I mean, for example, security, but security is not only a robot robot. If you have a mobile key system, which automatically logs which door has been opened by whom, at what time, and so forth, and keeps security. So it has nothing to do with robots. It's a secure mobility system, if you will. And many of those mobile key companies, they provide this type of system. So what I mean is that business processes, AI, definitely, IoT, which is the Internet of Things devices in the room, in a similar room like yours, where they, the IoT devices, they detect the temperature, they detect whether there's somebody in the room itself, the lighting and so forth. And then again, if you leave the room, 30 seconds after that, everything goes into like an
setback tip, save
economy mode, into like a utility saving mode.
Yep.
The temperature goes to a certain level, the lighting goes off, and so forth, and it's all automatic. So there's no need for a human to go from room to room to check, oh, what happened? I mean, did somebody leave the air conditioning on, which is so we're wasting energy. My point is that it's a combination of next generation technology applications that include physical, like robots, it includes devices like physical, like IoTs, include AI, includes automation, and the combination of them all actually is what a hotelier should be looking at, not just focusing on some how shall I put it, being obsessed with robots, for example, like Hana Nai in Japan, the hotel. So it's a combination of many factors, and what, for example, the Hilton and Marriott are working right now is the concept of the smart room.
Yes.
Where, based on your loyalty member preferences, the room automatically adjusts itself to your preference, which they know, of course, they know through the, through the PMS,
Yep.
through the loyalty member and your preferences and your past stays. And again, this is a preference that automatically adjusted based on, oh, Mr. Smith, when he's on business trip, he likes A, B, C, D, and E. But when he's on leisure, he likes, 5 other things. So the system automatically knows that whether you're coming on business or leisure, the combination of the two, or business trip with leisure extension, for example.
Yes.
And then it adjusts itself automatically to your liking. If you need extra pillows, it automatically sends a request to housekeeping, bring an extra pillow. If you like a single malt Scotch whiskey, the bottle is coming and right there, with a bucket of ice. If you like this, if you like that, your Netflix login information is automatically logged into the TV set, and the temperature, of course, you like cooler, you like hotter, you like warmer, you like subdued lighting, you like extra bright lighting. All of this is changed automatically, and that's what actually hotels already have rooms like this. Yep. Marriott's and Hilton's, and Chris Nassetta, the CEO of Hilton, says that there will come a time, and it will come very shortly, when you will know your room and the room will know you. So in this sense, and that's the future of hospitality. And what's behind it? IoT devices, definitely. Definitely robots, delivery, concierge type of robots to deliver all these things.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence, of course. I mean, to remember all of this, and second, to make conclusions based on your behavior, past behavior, your preferences, and again, to be able to come up with perks and benefits and different types of services that the system knows that you might like, or you will like for sure. 97% chance that you will like X.
Yep.
And so forth, based on your past behavior. So it will be a combination of next guest technologies, not just of a single application.
Yep. So we need to look at it from a holistic point of view.
Yes. Holistic point of view, not only the technology, but also holistic point of view as far as the customer journey, because the hotel, whether the hotel realizes this or not, the hotel interacts with the customer in the dreaming phase, in the planning phase. In the dreaming phase, when somebody says, oh, I just saw this article, this blog, this posting, this social media about this amazing hotel in the Bahamas, or in Tobago, or in whatever.
Yep.
And so that's the dreaming phase. And then, okay, let me see, do we have the time? When can we go? This is the planning phase. Where exactly, how are we going to get there? Flights. And then, of course, the hotel. Is this the hotel that we want to stay? Is it very expensive? Is it cheap? You saw the planning phase. And then, of course, the booking phase, the stay phase, and then the post-stay, the sharing, the retention phases. So the hotel interacts one way or another in all of those phases. So that's where you have to analyze and see what kind of technology, what type of technology applications, what kind of efficiencies. Sometimes, I mentioned it's not even technology. It's like finding a better description on your own website, or
yep.
Or coming up with a like a local activities guide, tours, activities, experiences, attractions guide, and positioning the hotel as the center of the local universe.
Yep.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
Yep.
But again, so that's why it's not just pure technology. It's not some futuristic, like a science fiction type of of a technology implementation that will solve our problems. It's a very comprehensive, very holistic, I would say, approach. And ultimately, if you look at it, it shouldn't be that expensive.
True.
It shouldn't be that expensive because many of the things are simply brain power, expertise, and you can hire this, you can rent this expertise from outside. I mean, I don't even for a second think that a hotelier has to develop, has to know IoT devices, how they work, how they install, how they interact with the PMS, or let's say, AI. Oh my God, where do I start? Natural language processing, machine learning, AI, what is the difference? How do I start with all of those? No, we don't have to do that. There are vendors outside that specialize, smart vendors. All you need to do is to have a young person, like technologist, as we call it here in the United States, somebody who is not an IT, but somebody who understands the business applications of technology.
Yep.
And somebody who will be your leader in this whole transformation.
Max, I really appreciate your time and the knowledge, and thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Brandon, you're more than welcome. And don't be a stranger. You know where to find me.